Right, hello. This is my fourth podcast, and today I'm talking about me. Well, not me. Well, yes, I'm going to talk about my story of how I like cars and all that, and especially Formula One and how it all started. Just so you can get to know me a little bit better in this side of me on my interest in all sorts of motor racing, and I'm trying to make it a bit more relaxed and less formal than my normal podcasts that I usually do, which cover things going on in the F1 week. So I've got a bit of coffee here. In a Red Bull mug, ironically. It's a big one as well. Anyway, let's get to the first part of how it all started, and my fascination in motorsport originally started through gaming. Gaming actually started with the good old game. I think F1 1997. I don't know its official name, but that was the year of the game. And my neighbour, well, a neighbour when I was a little kid, I don't know how old I would have been. They had a PlayStation 1 and had that game, and I used to go down there all the time and play it all the time. And then one day we got a PlayStation 1 ourselves, and I don't know where it came from actually. I have two stories in my mind where it's come from. Either my sister got given it by our grandmother, or there is another. Oh, I can't think of that other story, but I know there is another one. I honestly can't think of it. But anyway, so, and then when we got it, they gave us that game because, well, they knew how much we liked it, or I liked it, and that's how originally it all sort of started. I used to play that game a hell of a lot, all the time, and then my cousins had F1 1996 as well, and I would play that every time I would go over theirs. I would play that all the time, and that's part of it. That's how it all started originally, and then from there, I started following Formula One itself. I was never a huge fan as such. I loved it, of course, but not as much as I did or do as I do now. But I just followed it, and then I also got another Formula One game in 1999, which I've got here, which is F1 World Grand Prix. It's based on the 1999 season. So I got that game on computer, and I played that a lot. And then from there, I followed Ferrari F1 team, and they were my favourite team, along with my favourite driver was Eddie Irvine. I didn't really like Schumacher that much, but Eddie Irvine was the driver I liked, and my whole room was painted in like a Ferrari design thing. And my good grief, my cat's meowing. He's finished now, I think. Yeah. It's not like I'm trying to record or anything. Anyway, get back to the point. It was red. There was a big Ferrari on there, and I had lots of F1 posters around. So I sort of liked it there, but I didn't really have a favourite. I liked Eddie Irvine, as I said, but I didn't have a true favourite. Until 2002, I think it's 2. I should know this. When it was the Mark Webber made his debut for Minardi. Oh, I miss Minardi. Good team. Well, they weren't a good team, but they were a good laugh. And then he came Oh God, pardon me, I'm burping. Sorry. Um, and he came in fifth position, I think. And it sort of, and remember watching the race with fascination. And it sort of inspired me ever since then, and so on. And that's where it all kick-started mainly. I started following Mark Webber uh, ever since then. And Mark Webber is my favourite driver of all time. And he joined Jaguar as well. And Jaguar became one of my favourite teams until they quit. And I loved the British green, racing green livery as well. That was beautiful. So that's how it all sort of started, really. And I also picked up a bit of a fascination for cars. And then outside of Formula One, I met a very good friend of mine called Dan, and we met in primary school, and he liked F1, of course, and that's how the ball got rolling. And yeah, and there were a few other games as well, which we sort of introduced to each other, and that was the Toka Racing series, and we had a hell of a lot of fun on there. So that's how my main interest in motorsport came from, was through games, ironically. I got taken, I think my first experience of going to a race meeting was when I don't even know how old I was, but my dad took me and I think my sister came. We went to Silverstone. We went to watch some Ferrari GT racing, and I can't remember any of it, but apparently I went. And then I didn't go in a while, really. But I tend to go to British touring car races every now and then, up at Snetterton usually. So that's one part of it. Right, let's go through some facts. My favourite F1 car is I don't know what it's called, but it's the 1997 Williams F1 car. That's my favourite F1 car of all time, along with possibly the 2004 Jaguar. They are my two favourite cars of all time in the motorsport. I don't really like any other cars since. Fact number 2, my favourite team is not Red Bull. I don't like Red Bull, but it is Williams. I like Williams. I don't like any other team. So, well, I like Ferrari, kind of, and I kind of, if I was a driver, I would like to drive for them, in the sense of the sentimental value of being able to say I drove for Ferrari and so on and so forth. But Williams is probably the team that I would like to drive for ultimately. I don't really like McLaren. I don't like their work ethic. It's very sloppy. And then my favourite driver, which is fact number 3, is Webber. I do like Kobayashi as well, but he's not in the sport anymore. I don't really have a big passion for any other drivers. Obviously, I root for the British drivers or anyone who's an underdog in the sport, but I have no idea what I'm going to do once Webber retires from F1. I don't know if I'll be able to watch it, because as a kid I used to just like get bored as soon as the Jaguar, just like, it was known for blowing up, the Jaguar, and as soon as it blew up I would just like stop watching the F1 and just go off and play on my PlayStation or something instead of watching the rest of the race. So that's what I used to be like. I don't know, what else can I tell you? Anything else? I used to play Yeah, I did say earlier about Tokyo Race Driver 3, and that was possibly one of my favourite games of all time. Uh, and Tokyo Race Driver 1 and 2 as well. I didn't have Tokyo Race Driver 2 originally until I bought it second hand from one of those game shops. But yeah, I'm trying to think what else I can tell you without sort of rambling on. I don't think there is. Let me think. No, I can't think of anything else. I mean, if you want, you can just like post in the comments down below any questions. Like, I don't know. I have no idea. Like, I don't know. What other motorsports do you watch outside other than F1? Which I watch British touring cars and also. I don't watch any American racing. Surprisingly, I don't. That bores me a little bit, and so on. But that's what else I could. I just thought I could tell you about some things I'd like to do, sort of on my bucket list, is to go to certain tracks around the world, and I would like to go to Laguna Seca and go to the Corkscrew, Spa, and see Air Rouge. I would like to go to Le Mans. That's probably one of my favourite circuits in the world. Is probably Le Mans, especially Porsche's curves, which is a beautiful high-speed section. Where else would I like to go? Other circuits. Nürburgring. I'd like to go to Nürburgring. Get driven around there. I swear that there was. Oh, and was that on the list? Bathurst, I think, in Australia. That'd be awesome to go to. I could have sworn there was another track. Let me think. No, don't think so. Maybe there's probably are some other historic tracks around the world I'd like to go to, but I can't think of any right now. So, anyway, let's go to the point. If you want to know anything else, if you want to know anything else about me and my motorsport, a sort of fanaticness, whatever word you want to put there, you can just ask me on Twitter, hashtag AskJam, capital A and capital J. J? Yeah, J. I was about to say G then. Yeah, and then tweet me at JamRacingF1 and ask me questions. Or, as I said, leave comments below and so on. Or, yeah, so that's a little bit about me and motorsport. I'll see you Thursday, I think is when I'll next record. And I'll probably be talking about the whole Mercedes hurrah, and maybe a little bit about the Monaco GP that on that day. Thursday's tomorrow. And there's a cat at my door. I don't know if you can hear him. Probably not. But yeah, let's get back on track. So I'll see you tomorrow, if I get this uploaded in time. Bye.